Have you ever been under so much stress and anxiety because you've been under so much pressure for such a long period of time that you literally feel like you've lost your mind? If you have, then I know how you feel, because I remember many years ago when I felt like I'd lost my fucking mind. It felt like I couldn't plan for the future, I couldn't see the future, I had no hope for the future, I couldn't grasp the future was dark like this Grim Reaper behind me. It felt like I couldn't control my emotions, I wasn't in control of my emotions. I didn't know what was up and what was down, I didn't know where my morals sat anymore, I didn't know what was good, bad and evil. It's a horrible place to be, but the good news is, if you ever felt like that, you have not lost your mind, or it's highly unlikely that you've lost your mind. But the bad news is, you have given yourself a DIY frontal lobotomy. And that means that your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that sits underneath your forehead, above your eyebrows, that kind of area, that has gone offline. And it's gone offline because you have been triggered so much by the fight, flight, freeze, fawn response that blood has left this prefrontal cortex, literally drained out of the prefrontal cortex, deactivated the frontal cortex, and gone into your amygdala, which is like your Department of Homeland Security, and into your limbs. And this has happened because it's preparing your mind and your body to run or fight the danger that lies ahead of you. And by doing this, it means that you're not able to access these executive functions up here. You can't think rationally, reasonably, logically. You can't seem to connect dots. Your ideas do get smaller and all of that kind of stuff. So the good news is you have not lost your mind, even though it may feel like it. And if you want to get your mind back, it's a case of getting yourself out of that fight, flight and freeze. Now, if you push that for a long period of time, you may end up in a freeze response, which can be linked to depression, but it can also be linked to a thing called habitual burnout. And habitual burnout is what I suffered from a very long time after my high, intense, acute burnout. And a habitual burnout essentially happens when you habitually, continuously do those things that trigger the fight and flight, that keep you inside the Department of Homeland Security and keep this frontal cortex offline. So if you'd be interested to put your prefrontal cortex back online so that you feel like you are back in control of your executive functions, keep watching these videos, because I'm going to give you lots more tips on how to do that, and watch the videos I've already shot, because that's the whole point, to keep this thing online so that you can close the gap between what you're capable of being and what you're actually being, and live a life that you never ever want to fucking escape from.